Welcome and blessings to you. This is our Surrey Interfaith Council's 2024 World Interfaith Harmony Week activities. Each year we participate in the UN initiative to bring together people of faith communities and to provide opportunities and activities for people in our communities to join in with. We would like to start by acknowledging that we are on the traditional unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, the Kwantlen, the Katzie, the Coquitlam, the Semiahmoo, and Tawasin First Nations. So we give thanks to the people of the First Nations. We would like to start by introducing Dr. John Burrows, who is going to bring us a greeting and a brief explanation of his involvement and commitment to interfaith dialogue. And we're very excited to have John join us. He is a renowned scholar, a professor, a man of learning, and a person of Indigenous heritage. So welcome to John.
I've been asked to make a few remarks regarding the significance of this UN World Interfaith Harmony Week. I'm grateful to be with you. I'm also asked to comment on reconciliation and what it might mean to try to mesh the worlds of Indigenous spirituality and, in my case, Christianity. And in the process, I've also been asked to acknowledge and reflect upon the sacredness of the land that we're on and the meaning of these lands in our lives. So to begin, I want to acknowledge that I'm speaking to you from the Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Anishinaabe lands here in what is now called Toronto. I'm teaching at the University of Toronto this year, and usually I teach on the lands of the Wisanich and Lekwungen-speaking peoples on Vancouver Island. In each of these cases, I feel a great sense of responsibility to understand the relationship that these people have with their lands from their own languages, from their own stories, and from their own current situations that they experience as being dispossessed from these lands. And with that acknowledgement and with that appreciation, I want to do what I can to try to restore the knowledge of these lands and the relationship and stewardship that peoples have with these lands back to Indigenous peoples as much as possible. Also recognizing that these lands are now shared with people that come from other parts of the world. Myself, I'm Anishinaabe. I'm from a reserve about 3 hours north of Toronto here, where I'm currently sitting, and I'm a member of the Chippewa-the-Nawash First Nation. I'm also the son of a British immigrant who left England after the Second World War. He came to Canada when he was 22 years old, and he lived in this country for over 65 years. Furthermore, I'm a law professor, and I teach and research on questions related to constitutional law. I'm also a Christian, and I have deep appreciations for many religious and spiritual traditions because of the way they inspired me to seek a better way of living. That is, my life is marked by trying to reconcile and harmonize these influences of Indigenous, immigrant, secular, and religious. I belong to multiple communities, which themselves are internally diverse and quite complex. And I acknowledge my experiences are also my own and not necessarily representative. There are many more perspectives on these identities than I can really imagine. This is why I want to live by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's counsel that we beware the danger of a single story or regard nuance as being sacred. And as we do this, I believe comparison and contrast are keys to these endeavors. The juxtaposition of our stories inside and beyond ourselves can reveal where there are gaps and misunderstandings, where we might overemphasize or underemphasize certain things in our lives. And interfaith harmony in this week, celebrating interfaith harmony is proclaimed by the General Assembly is something that can bring that forward. Now, in searching for greater insight into what motivates people's commitments, I agree with the insights of the late Krister Stenhall. Before he passed away, he was a Lutheran bishop of Stockholm and a professor emeritus at Harvard Divinity School. He identified 3 rules for cultivating religious understanding that could also apply to cultivating reconciliation more generally. First of all, he said, when trying to understand one another, that is another religious group, we should ask adherents of that religion and not its enemies. Second, he said, we shouldn't compare our best to their worst. And third, he said we should leave room for holy envy by finding elements in other faiths to emulate. I really, really like these suggestions, trying to understand another religious group by that group's own understanding, and not comparing our best to their worst, and finding something in another faith that we can emulate. I really find that these ideas are going to the core of reconciliation, a framework for nuanced understanding and seeing the world beyond our own views and understanding that there's possibility there for developing harmony. So as we're meeting together over this week in many fora, including this fora, I really encourage this notion of seeking the best of our variety of selves and searching for ways to live in accordance to the sacredness on the lands that we are on. Miigwech bizindig mi'u ahau. Thank you, and all the best in our work.
Back in 2015, when I was on a solo backpacking trip around India, I found myself at this beautiful white temple in Delhi that looks something like the Sydney Opera House in the shape of a flower. A very kind Indian man told me that the temple belongs to the Baha'i faith, a religion that I had never heard of before. But as I continued to travel across 191 countries, I kept seeing more and more of these unique temples, like in Uganda, Germany, and Panama. I met countless Baha'is who introduced me to their faith, and I find it so beautiful and uplifting that I wanted to tell you all about it in this video because I think many of you guys out there can resonate. How would you explain Baha'i in a nutshell to someone who has no idea what it is?
There's only one God. God educates humanity by sending divine teachers every once in a while. The Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, these are some of these divine teachers. They're essentially teaching one religion. So there's one God, one religion that is gradually unfolding like chapters in a course book. And Baha'u'llah is the most recent of these divine teachers. And his teachings are totally relevant to what's going on in the world today.
You know, there's a quote that says, to be a Baha'i means to love the world, to love humanity and try to serve it, to work for universal peace and universal brotherhood. So service is so central to the Baha'i revelation, understanding that all the teachings of the Baha'i faith revolve around the oneness of humanity, this belief in this one God that loves us all, this one progressive religion, and this one human family.
So the Baha'i faith is all about ridding the world of all our prejudices like racism, sexism, nationalism, and religious prejudice, and understanding the true oneness that humanity is one human family.
The Baha'i faith is an independent world religion founded in Iran in 1844. It has been described as the youngest of all the world's major religions, and it has a quickly growing following. So how does one practice Baha'i?
The way I like to say it is this: I'm a Jew as long as I can also be a Christian. I'm a Christian as long as I can also be a Muslim. And I'm a Muslim as long as I can also be a Baha'i.
I love it.
And I'm a Hindu and a Buddhist too along the way.
So to practice being a Baha'i, it's really pretty simple. We read some writings in the morning and the evening. That's part of our kind of daily ritual. We say a prayer between noon and sunset. The Muslims bow 5 times a day to Mecca. The Baha'is just say one very short prayer.
What is the text of the Baha'i? So obviously we have the Bible and the Torah and the Quran. What is it called in Baha'i faith?
So our most holy book is called the Kitab-i-Aqdas. And now with the Baha'i faith, it's not like we were just given one book. We have many books. So we don't limit ourselves to just reading and studying one. You know, we have thousands of prayers and thousands of texts.
How many Baha'is can we find in the world?
About officially maybe 6 or 7 million, but unofficially there's probably closer to 10.
In fact, Baha'i is considered to be the second most widespread religion in the world, as there are members in 236 unique countries and territories. What I really love about the Baha'i temples is that every one of them is open to every human being, regardless of race, religion, gender. It's open to all, and that is such a beautiful thing. When did you become interested in Baha'i and convert? I guess, do you call it convert?
We call it declare. And because what you don't do with Baha'i is you don't abandon your religion. So like for example, I was raised Jewish. I'm not saying that Judaism is wrong. In fact, I'm saying Judaism is right, and I'm a Baha'i.
What does being a Baha'i mean to you?
One thing that it means to me is that world peace It's not just a what if or a possibility, it is inevitable. And it will happen one day. And as a Baha'i, it is my job to have hope and do what I can to serve and bring about this oneness.
To be a Baha'i really just means to be of service to humanity. So Baha'is, wherever you go around the world, are trying to make the world a better place.
As a Baha'i, we see everything as reflecting God, all of God's creation, every living thing. And we are the caretakers. As humans, we're the highest created thing.
Being a Baha'i, it comforts me, it provides solace and hope. It confirms me and what I do and what I love to do, and it shines light on the path I need to take and what I need to do to get there.
We definitely need to work to be more internationally cooperative.
Right.
And the more that we can have treaties and cooperation and love and trust built up between countries, then that more that war can be put on the back burner.
As you've already heard me say a million times, my single biggest realization from visiting almost every country in the world is that every human being is the same. After learning that this is also the core belief of the Baha'i faith, I am looking forward to reading and learning more about it on my spiritual journey around the world.
Helped perform at this elderly homes around Peace Arch. So at first we thought about how we can help them, right? And we thought about how they obviously love enjoying these teens perform as they do not have much interaction with the outside world. So every month, and now we're actually adding extra performances, we gather some friends and family and we go perform at these senior homes to make these seniors happy. And once we're done performing, we can talk to them. For those who want to talk to us, we can share our stories, share our lives, and just share our experiences.
Unite and bind together the hearts. Unite and bind together the hearts. Join in accord all the souls. Join in accord all the souls. Oh Lord, make these faces radiant through the light of thy oneness. Unite and bind together the hearts. Unite and bind together the hearts. Join in accord all the souls. Join in accord all the souls. Oh Lord, make these faces radiant through the light of thy oneness.
In Conversation with Abdul Baha, a gift of poetry and spiritual quotations. In the poems that follow, the poet holds a mental conversation with Abdul Baha, the son of Baha'u'llah, the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith. Each recited poem is followed by a quotation from the writings of Abdul Baha as its response. Transformation. We entered the room one by one, each thinking, I'm right, I'm good. Focused on the eye, heads stubborn, heart like a rock. Prayers were offered. Is there any remover of difficulties save God? Lord, pitiful are we, grant us thy favor, pour, bestow upon us. With each prayer, a piece of stubbornness chipped away. With each prayer, a weed of selfish desire pulled out. In their place, fresh green plants of love and unity grew from the soil of hearts. I transformed to us ego to humility, harshness to compassion. We entered the room with stone-like minds, departed with garden-like thoughts. If you desire with all your heart friendship with every race on earth, your thought, spiritual and positive, will spread. It will become the desire of others, growing stronger and stronger until it reaches the minds of all men. A leaf. Prayers, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, merge. Like drops of pure water, they combine, become a brook, a stream, a river. A river that is a torrent at my feet, rushing and surging at my being, uprooting the tree of my being, detaching me from me. Detached like a leaf floating on the water, I will flow with his river, move at his will, follow his decree towards the ocean of his good pleasure. Past the oceans I will sit at his feet like a leaf, like a leaf. If thou wouldest hearken to my words, release thyself from the fetters of whatsoever cometh to pass. Nay, rather, under all conditions, thank thou thy loving Lord, and yield up thine affairs unto his will, that worketh as he pleaseth. This verily is better for thee than all else in either world. Color of love. Is my color white or yellow, green, blue or purple? Am I light or shadow? In the yellow deserts of imagination, towards which green destination am I walking? To which city am I traveling? Where is my home? Where is my appointment? Who is it with? Has it expired? Small butterflies flap in my heart. They tell me of my appointment with the fire of love, of my destination, the city of sacrifice. Old stories say butterflies love candle. They get too close to fire, burn their wings. They burn and burn and burn until the rainbow colors merge into one color, the color of love. This love is not of the body, but completely of the soul, and those souls whose inner being is lit by the love of God are even as spreading rays of light, and they shine out like stars of holiness in a pure and crystalline sky. For true love, real love, is the love for God, and this is sanctified beyond the notions and imaginations of men.
בביאת המשיח אני מאמין, אף על פי שיתמהמה, עם כל זה אני מאמין. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה בביאת המשיח, בביאת המשיח אני מאמין, אף על פי שיתמהמה, עם כל זה אני מאמין. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ביום ההוא יהיה אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ביום ההוא יהיה אחד. כי מלאה הארץ דעה, כי מלאה הארץ דעה, כי מלאה הארץ דעה, דעה את אדוני, כי מלאה הארץ דעה, כי מלאה הארץ דעה, כי מלאה הארץ דעה, דעה את אדוני, דעה, דעה, דעה את אדוני, דעה, דעה, דעה את אדוני.
ונרי ואורי תאיר אל רם, ונרי ואורי תאיר אל רם, ונרי ואורי תאיר אל רם, יאירו לעד עולם. ונרי ואורי, ונרי ואורי, יאירו לעד עולם, יאירו לעד עולם.
Bless those in need of healing with refuge.